Due to the graphic nature of this episode and the nature of the killer's crimes, listener discretion is advised. Suicidal ideation, sexual assault, rape, and violence all will be mentioned in this episode. May not be suitable for children or those who are easily triggered. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa.
And I'm Samantha.
And I'm Lisa.
And welcome to Watch for Deer.
We made Lisa on stay.
Yay! We have her on for this episode.
So we podcasted just a minute ago and we did our menopause thing. And so this one's coming out, but the wine was flowing.
Yes.
And I was like, stay with us.
Yes.
Stay with us for spooky.
Yes. I love spooky.
I mean, you've already scared the shit out of me with your menopause stuff. So why not go ahead and just stay with me, Lisa? Just stay with me.
Stay with us. So, yeah. So, we're going to do an actual story today.
What do you mean actual story? We do an actual story all the time.
No, I mean, we're going to do a really good one today.
Is it gonna bother me?
What's it about?
Drink more wine.
Is it ghosts or murder?
It's murder.
I knew it was going to be murder.
Murder. Well, I have a mini story to tell you girls.
Okay, let's go.
I actually told all of my friends around the fire pit. I don't have a paper or anything. I actually memorized it because it is so...
Did you make this up or did this happen?
No, it happened. So now, I am known for making up stuff sometimes.
I know.
So I am going to... I'm going to tell you all a story. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out the way we need to sit because I want to get her reaction too. So, Lisa, don't walk over there with Elisa.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay here and I'm going to tell you all this story. And I want you all to listen to this too. Because what I'm getting ready to tell you is unbelievable. But I promise you can look it up and it is true.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, are we ready?
We are ready.
Now, I don't have a paper to read off of, so I'm just telling you a story, okay? In Leyland, West Virginia, in 1983, there was this guy named James Duncan. He was a real piece of crap. Like he was a bad man. His wife, her name was Chloe. There's going to be 4 people in this story. James, Chloe, brother who is 17 years old, but since it was 17 when it happened, his name was never released and I didn't dig and try to find it. He's a grown man now. I mean, he's probably 60 now.
Okay.
Ew. He's probably 60 years old now. And Mama, which is Chloe's mother. Mm-hmm. We're going to call her Granny.
Okay.
All right. Again, you can look this up. James, I'm saying Chloe. It's Cleo.
Jesus.
I know.
More wine?
No, it's not the wine. I don't have it on paper. I'm just telling you this from memory.
Okay. Sure.
So James comes home from work. He's 30 years old, something like that. He comes in. Cleo's making him something. She makes him soup. And he gets really, really mad because it wasn't a sandwich. And he starts beating her like senseless. Like he's beating her very, very badly.
Because she didn't fix him a sandwich.
Because he wanted a sandwich.
This?
1983.
Okay.
That explains so much.
Okay. So it doesn't explain anything, Lisa. Anywho, he's wearing her out. Granny, which is Cleo's mom, comes down to the kitchen and shoots him in the chest.
Get it, Granny.
Like, he's very abusive. He's a bad man, all this stuff. Well, now James is in their kitchen dead, right?
And?
Okay, exactly. Mm-hmm. Most of the time you call the law, right? If you did that domestic violence, somebody's beating somebody to death, you call the law, correct? That's not what they did. They decided to bury him in the backyard. So they call little brother, 17 years old.
This is Cleo's brother?
No.
Oh,
this is Cleo's son.
Okay.
Okay. This is Cleo's son. It never did specify if it was James's son also, because where he was underage, they kept his name out of everything.
Okay.
Anyways, and there was another littler brother, but he's only in it this part. Cleo and Granny, her mother, have the 2 boys dig a hole in the backyard. They bury James. Okay? James is buried. Before the night's out, James's truck is still in the parking lot, or not parking lot, the driveway. And they're like, what are we going to do? His truck's here. They're going to know that he came here. You know, they're going to look for him. They're going to see that, there's a fresh grave in the back. So Cleo, Granny, and 17-year-old brother come up with this idea. We're going to take him to the river. Now, this is in West Virginia, so I don't know if it's a Greenbrier or what. But they said, we're going to take him to the river and we're going to put the truck in the river. And that way, when they find him or whatever, they'll think that it was a robbery or something he drove in. They take the truck. One of them drives it. They take their car. They drive the truck to the edge of the river. They release the parking brake on it, and they go to shove the truck into the river, right? And it gets stuck in the mud. It gets stuck in the mud. This is not even half of what I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
And Cleo had enough sense to be like, don't go over there. You're going to leave footprints.
Right.
So they were like, what are we going to do? We're just going to have to leave it here. We're just going to have to leave the truck here. There's nothing we can do. We're going to have to leave the truck here. They go back to their car. Well, guess what? Sometime between the time they got there and they're pushing the truck, their car keys ended up in the truck, and they can't leave. There's no cell phones in 1983. They can't leave. Their car keys are in the truck that's stuck in the mud that they can't leave the footprints in.
Okay.
So they said, well, that's not that big of a deal because he's my husband. He would have an extra set of keys. Not that big of a deal. They take off walking. Somebody picks him up. West Virginia, everybody knows everybody. Take him home. The next morning, Cleo calls 911. My husband didn't come home last night. I'm so worried. All this stuff. They go out. They finally find his truck. Like a day or so later, they find his truck and they're dragging the river because that's where he's at. That's where James is at. Hold on, I got a cough. Excuse me, I've been sick. Anyways, Cleo's sitting at the kitchen table. 17-year-old brother her son comes down. Cleo's really upset because even though James is a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
She really liked well, it's not that it's her husband. She really liked his family. And now, since he's buried in the backyard, well, they're not ever going to get a proper burial for him. Like, they're not going to, they're dragging the river. They're not going to find him. So Cleo's like, this is what I'm going to do. She tells her son, go dig him up and we're going to put him in the river. That way the family can find his body and bury him properly. And they're not wondering for the rest of their life. Hold on. I'm going to take a little sip of this. Hold on.
That's a bad idea.
So.
She should have just let it go.
She did not let it go.
Let it go.
Her son goes and buries him, digs him up. He has the body out. He is dragging the body through the yard. I guess it's in the middle of the night. And Granny comes down out of her bedroom and was like, what are you doing? And they're like, they tell Granny, Cleo told her mom exactly what I just told you all. She was like, you can't do that. That bullet didn't come out his back. There's a bullet in his body. Right. The problem with this is that gun that I shot him with is actually registered to me. So, 17-year-old, bring James in here, put him on the kitchen table, and I'll get the bullet out.
Oh, my gosh. This goes from bad to worse.
It keeps getting worse.
Put him back in the ground and let it go.
No, we ain't letting it go. Listen to me. In Appalachia, we don't let it go. We ain't letting it go. So.
How long's he been dead? This postmortem
3 days, 3 days, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So Grandma grabs a butcher knife. James is on the kitchen table. She grabs a butcher knife, cuts into his chest, and goes looking for the bullet.
Oh, exploratory surgery.
She takes out his heart. She takes out his lungs. She could not find the bullet. She takes his heart and his lungs and throws them in the trash. Never did find the bullet. She's like, well, I guess it did come out an exit wound. They take James, load him up in the car, Sans heart and lungs, and he's split wide open down the chest because they did operation in the kitchen.
That's not suspicious.
Not
That's
at all.
not suspicious.
Because the big old rock
certainly drowned from that.
This was a drown. He split open that big old rock when he went over.
It gets better. They're driving. They stop on a bridge to the river right where the truck's at, close to where they found the truck. They're going to dump the body over the bridge, right? They want him in the water. They're dragging the water in the day. That's what they're going to do. They're going to find James. They throw James over the bridge, and his effing pants get hung on the bridge, and he's dangling there.
Oh, my God.
He is dangling there.
This is like America's Dumbest Criminals before it was a thing. Wow.
Cleo, Granny, sent 17-year-old brother to climb underneath the bridge.
This poor kid.
And cut his pants. Cut him loose. While 17-year-old brother's under the bridge, the police come by.
Oh, my God.
Granny 17-year-old brother runs to the woods. Granny and Cleo, or they got Cleo. The police got Cleo. Granny took off. They caught brother in the woods, and Granny turned herself in the next day. But when she was turning herself in, the police were on their way to the house anyways.
Yeah.
They only got 17-year-old only spent a few days, maybe weeks or whatever, in juvie. Cleo got 2 years, and Granny only got 55 days because he was so bad. And that what she was trying to do was, Cleo was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, by his family.
And that Granny killed him because he was beating her daughter to death.
Right.
But it was just like one bad thing right after the other. So Cleo got 2 years for like something with the body and something else.
Like misuse of or abuse of a corpse or something.
Yeah. Granny got 55 days and 17-year-old got hardly anything. But yeah.
That's a true story.
Yes, that happened in West Virginia, Leyland, West Virginia.
You should
Look it
have
up.
that for 2 truths and a lie.
Look it up. It's Cleo.
Like,
So
lie,
ridiculous.
bitch. Yeah.
It's Cleo and James Duncan. Look it up. Look it up.
All right. That's cool. Okay. Well, that's fun. And that was in 83?
In 1983.
I was born in 1983. That's when all the crazy happened. Okay, so that's interesting. Thanks for that fun story.
Oh my God. Then add 17 to your birthday. How old are you?
40. I'll be 42 this year.
So how old is 17-year-old now?
I don't know.
Add
42
7?
minus 17.
Well, no.
I don't math.
No, it's not 42 minus 17, sweetheart.
59.
It's 59. 7
math.
plus 2 is 9 plus 10 more. He's
you go.
59.
There you go. There you go.
So if something
Mystery
happens
solved.
and 17-year-old you listen to Watch for Deer and would like to tell me that story,
We down.
I would really like to hear it from your perspective.
We down. Okay, so today I'm going to start off with a trigger warning because Samantha loves
I
these
hate
trigger
when you
warnings.
do this.
I had never actually heard of this case, and I stumbled upon it in one of my Facebook groups. And as you know, I read a lot. So in my psychological thriller book group, someone had posted this book and said how disturbing it was. So it piqued my interest, and I was very
I
curious.
don't understand. Lisa, you're here as a health professional. Is this normal for her to like that? That piqued my interest. Somebody was murdered. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued by the morbid and
I don't understand
know.
you.
Define normal.
define normal.
Not her.
Not me. So obviously I had to read it. A lot of people were like, I couldn't finish it, couldn't put it down. I finished it. It was bad. But like I said, my brain's messed up. I know I've toned this story down a lot because I know you're a puss.
If this is the toy box killer, I'm not listening.
It's not the toy box. Killer.
Okay.
So how did the book come into it? Did the book tell the story of it?
The book, yes. It's my resource for this case was the book that he wrote. It's called Final Truth. It is his autobiography that he wrote while he was on death row. So it's very interesting. We get all the juicy details
So
right
you
from
read
the
it,
killer.
and you think he's telling the truth.
Absolutely.
Okay, because they're honest
Well, he's
people.
It's
on death row,
so
so
it's
does it matter if he's telling the
it's
truth?
so messed up.
He's probably trying to make money at this
I
point.
could absolutely see that being the truth.
All right, I hate you. Go.
So, I'm using his book, the autobiography called Final Truth, along with Wiki and Investigation Discovery as my sources. Donald Henry Parrott Jr. was born March 13th of 1933 in Florence County, South Carolina. His mother, Uella Parrott, holy shiitake.
What is wrong with you?
I told you I had to stop with the wine.
I guess so. Wait, this is crackling. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. His mother, Eula Perot, had many men in her life.
Well,
She's
we
a
ain't,
hoe.
we ain't gonna judge.
She a hoe.
Least on we ain't judging.
It wouldn't be until Donald would be sentenced to reform school that he knew his actual daddy's name was Donald Henry Gaskins. It was said that Donald Gaskins had taken care of Eula, and his family wanted to keep the secret because he was a very well-to-do and respected man in the town. Being such a small child, he was given the nickname Pee-wee. He said that he had never grown quickly enough to keep up with his peers, so he was always bullied. The man that his mama would eventually marry was a mean sucker, and that's Pee-wee's word. He's a mean sucker. He said that he would hit him so hard across the face just to practice hitting someone.
Isn't that's awful.
That's terrible. Pee-wee said everyone was always beating up on him. The kids at his school, his family members. He had an extremely rough childhood. He was neglected by his mother so much that when he was just 1 year old, he drank a bottle of kerosene and had convulsions at the age of 3.
Hold on. What?
He drank a bottle of kerosene.
Yeah, at 1. And it didn't affect him until he was 3?
And he had convulsions until the age of 3.
Oh, it took that long for the kerosene to get out of his tiny little system.
Convulsions until the age of 3. Now, on the internet, it mentions that his mama had sexually abused him, but in his autobiography, he denies everything. Like, he denies that in his book. He said he loved his mama and that she had always treated him right. So, you can take that with a grain of salt. You'll see how messed up this guy is, and we'll go from there. Now, by the time he was 5 or 6, one of the stepdaddies took them to a carnival. Everybody likes a carnival, right?
I love a carnival.
A carnival's amazing.
Give me
time.
a funnel cake.
I love it. And a corn dog.
A what?
A corn dog.
That's not what you said.
She
said
said
cone.
A cone dog.
Cone dog.
You want a cone dog?
I do.
You want a cone dog at the carnival? Mm-mm. But he said that this memory sticks with him the most. This is something he knew, like, right when it happened, that it was a pivotal moment. He said that they walked into a very large tent, and there were a few large reptiles there. He said the barker directed their attention to a case in the center where a huge king cobra was. The barker said that it had just ate.
What's a barker?
A barker is the carnival guy that's, come on, come and see the bearded lady.
Oh, well, that made me feel bad.
This is not the perimenopause episode anymore.
I'm just saying, you didn't have to say it like that. You didn't have to be like, come and see the bearded lady. Drive up on Wilson's Creek. She's here. Forget you, Lisa. I hurt my feelings.
But he said that he could remember the cobra being coiled up and flared out his hood. And he said that the guy had leaned over and dropped a rat into the tank with this king cobra. Now, keep in mind, this cobra had just eaten. He said that when he seen the rat, he said he raised up. He said that cobra puffed out its hood, and he attacked that rat. And Pee-wee said just watching that act of killing aroused him.
Ew.
He said at this point he knew that he wasn't normal. Gaskins demonstrated very disturbing behavior throughout his adolescence. He told one story about him and a couple other boys. They dug a trench behind the girls' outhouse at church so they could watch the girls and women use the bathroom.
Hold on. What? Wait, what do you mean a trench? Like
they dug
so that they could hide in it?
They could hide and watch the girls use the bathroom in the outhouse.
they were in the outhouse, like their faces were in the outhouse.
I guess they dug a trench to where they could peek over and see.
Jesus,
that's
God
gross,
almighty,
isn't
that's
it?
gross.
When they got caught, they got whipped with switches. Now, keep in mind, this was the late 30s, early 40s. They got beat, okay? Like the preacher, their parents, they got in deep shit. Now, Pee-wee recalls days hanging out at the hideout, a little tucked away space that all these boys like to hang out. So like a clubhouse, okay? He ended up meeting Danny and Marsh, who were two troubled boys like himself. We know that, you kind of keep with the same people. You're kind of like...
The company you keep.
Yeah, it's not good, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So all these kids, you got 3 kids that are just very ornery. And that's putting it nicely. So they would break into vending machines. They'd steal cigarettes, money, and alcohol. Pee-wee was a whiz when it came to fixing things, so he did that on the side. A radio here, a sewing machine there. He was very good at fixing things. He was very technical. One day, a man wanted him to fix a floor radio, and it was too big to bring and drop off to him. So he invited Pee-wee over to his house to come and fix this radio. And during this visit is where he gets the idea to start stealing and selling the items for cash. Danny's dad had been arrested on charges, and he was all for teaching them boys on what and how to steal, and he even hooked them up with a buyer and where to sell these items. And keep in mind, these are tiny boys.
What age are they? You said tiny boys. What age are they?
I mean, they're preteens and teens. They're, 15.
That's not a tiny
feel like
boy.
that's tiny.
Elisa, it's not a
That's
tiny
tiny.
boy.
They're tiny. They're babies.
No, that's your 40-year-old self talking. Let me tell you
Okay.
something. It's not tiny babies. They are underage and they're idiots.
They are idiots.
I think of a toddler. Listen,
Okay.
listeners.
It's not a 9-year-old.
Listen, listeners.
I mean, they are young men. There you go. They're young men. But, he taught them how and who, where to go and sell these items. Now, obviously, they could not walk around town with wads of cash in their pocket. So Danny's dad was nice enough to stow away their spoils. Now, these boys were as ornery as they came. They liked to go out to the military bases where they knew they could pick up the ladies of the night.
Oh, they're little lot lizards.
Getting
Getting the hookers.
That they did. Now, one night while driving around, they decided that they wanted a virgin. Marsh
I don't like where this story's going.
offered up his youngest sister. I won't go into details about this event on the how and the where. Just know that they did end up getting beat to death for assaulting and raping.
What do you mean beat to death? They actually got beat to death?
Marsh's younger sister by Marsh's mama. Gaskins recalled their stepdaddy stripped them naked, hung them upside down in the barn. They hung Marsh up first and gave them a good lashing. They whipped them. He said blood was pouring. Pee Wee said that as they were whipping him, he realized again that had aroused him.
I don't understand. I know I say this every time, and people who listen to this, they're going to be like, every time she says this, and it doesn't change the fact. Why do you read this stuff? Like, what is wrong with your head?
Because it is so intriguing that somebody, and this is from a very young age, he recognized that there was something wrong with him. Like, he knew he was off.
I get that he's off, but we're talking about you.
I'm not off. I'm just,
No, man.
I'm researching.
Gov. I actually call Lisa on Gov. Governor.
Governor.
Listen to me. Would you read that book?
I don't think I would.
Really?
No, I don't know about the true crime.
I like the true crime.
I like fairies and dragons. To
Fairies
read
and
about.
dragons.
Yes.
She's like,
I mean, you can
fairies
keep
and
your
dragons.
murder and grape.
Us Lycanses, we like happiness and rainbows.
Okay.
We love The Labyrinth. That's a happy movie.
That's a good movie.
We love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good
David
movie.
Bowie in it.
We don't like this movie. However, if you are going to try to make me feel sorry for them for getting beat like that for after what they did to her
Nope,
sister,
I'm
you're
not.
looking at the wrong person
Nope.
because
They
you know
got
what?
what they deserved.
They should have, at 15, 16 years old, doing something like that,
Yep.
you made your bed, sleep in it.
Yep.
Somebody do that to one of mine, one of yours, one of anybody's.
Oh, yeah, they'd be dead.
So,
Now, after this incident, the troubled trio ended up being separated. Gaskins would meet a man at a gas station and would begin a thieving ring with him. One day, he walks into what he thought was an empty house, but he runs into a girl that he knows. She started yelling at him, wanting to know what the hell he was doing there, and she picks up an
Why
axe.
is this girl in an empty house?
Well, he thought the house was empty. No one was home. He went there to thieve, and he walks in and he knows this girl. He knows her. So she's wanting to know what the hell Pee Wee's doing in her house, and then she proceeds to pick up an axe and start swinging. So he takes the axe away with it and hits her with it, and she starts screaming. So apparently there was an adult at the house, a grandmother, an adult, some other lady. She comes down, and she has a shotgun. And Pee Wee takes off running out the front door, and she's shooting. Well, the police immediately knew who it was, and the girl was in the hospital, so they pretty much beat him back to the house. So he takes the axe, he beats this girl with it. She's screaming. The lady of the house comes down. She hears this young girl screaming in the house. She takes a shotgun, and she runs Pee Wee off. Before he can get back to his house, the cops are there. So he gets sentenced to reform school for this, and being the little guy, he gets thrown into this school, and the first night, a boy that they call Poss tells him, after dinner, I need you to come see me.
I hate you.
But he doesn't go to see Poss on his own, so the next day, the boys hold Pee Wee down, and all them boys take a turn on him. And he decided right then he had to get out of there. He could not take the sexual abuse anymore.
You know, that's what happened with Bonnie and Clyde. That's what started Clyde off with the bad stuff, which this Pee Wee guy was bad before them. But and he raped that girl. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm trying really hard to find anything sorry for him after this.
Karma.
And that comes, and that a lot of the conversation is nurture versus nature. Mm-hmm. He was a bad seed right from the get-go.
You think so?
100%. It wasn't a lack of caring. There was just something genetically, just something evil born into him.
He said his mom sucked at 1 year old, so I mean.
Yeah, so he
didn't get any nurture.
And he said he loved her. She wasn't a bad mother, but she was she was neglected. It's their mom.
Yes.
It's
you think he took his little pacifier at 1 year old and threw it and hit her in the face and was like,
bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch. Probably. But after escaping from the reform school, he gets married and voluntarily returns to complete his sentence because he's on the run. His new wife is like, we can't live like this. So he turns himself in. Now, he gets released in 1951 at the age of 18. He briefly worked on a tobacco plantation until he was arrested again in 1953 for attacking a teenage girl with a hammer over an alleged insult. He was sentenced to 6 years imprisonment at the South Carolina Penitentiary. There, Gaskins earned his fellow inmates' respect by killing the most feared man in prison, Hazel Brazel, in what Gaskins claimed was self-defense.
His name was Hazel?
Hazel, yes.
I bet that was a tough man.
Like a boy named Sue.
You are not raised a Hazel.
No. But he was the head honcho guy in prison, and it was a way for Gaskins to earn respect inside because he was the top dog. He had talked with some of the other inmates, and they said, you want to get respect, you got to kill somebody. You got to do that. That's how they create their hierarchy. And Hazel was at the top of that. So Pee Wee thought, well, okay, since he's at the top, I'm going to take him down.
What year is this?
This is in...
like the 40s?
The
50s?
40s, 50s, 51.
I don't want to be in a hierarchy where Hazel's at the top.
Yeah, well, Hazel ain't at the top for long.
I feel like in the women hierarchy, we probably have a Karen up there.
I'm sure.
Right? Karen's over us.
Now, he starts to build trust and rapport with this guy. He goes to the kitchen and he gets, a sandwich. And he takes it and he was like, hey, I'm going to bring you a sandwich. He was like, okay. And keep in mind, this Hazel guy, is in a cell with two other of his men as guards. They're prison inmates. You know how that system works. But he drops the food off and he just does this for a while and he builds this trust. And one day he comes in and he said that Hazel was there on the pot doing his business. And he brings him his sandwich and he's like, lay it over there. And he lays it down and he turns around and he looks at Hazel. And Hazel's like, what the hell are you looking at? And Gaskins pulls out a shank and stabs him in the neck, killing Hazel.
And he dies on the toilet like Elvis Presley.
On the toilet.
Also, you said the pot, and people around, if they're listening from anywhere else, they're not going to know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the shitter.
You're talking about the toilet.
I'm talking about the shitter.
When you said Hazel was on the pot.
Hazel was on the shitter.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes I try to catch things.
You have to interpret for her.
Yeah. So it's on
on the pot, not meaning smoking weed, but he was on the shitter.
He was on the toilet.
Yes. Yeah. When he was violently stabbed in the neck. Now, as a result of this, Gaskins received 3 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. He escaped from prison again in 1955 by hiding in the back of a garbage truck.
How's a shank involuntary?
Has a what?
A shank
I
involuntary.
know, right? Involuntary manslaughter.
He shanked him, and he got involuntary manslaughter.
Oh, I thought you meant an involuntary shanking, which I guess it would be an involuntary shanking, right?
No,
I don't reckon anybody that's ever been shanked was shanked voluntarily.
Well, let's discuss this. And I mean, I've got people I can call and ask this question to, but let's just try to work it out on our own.
I don't think he tripped and just it went in his neck. Like, that would be involuntary.
Prove it. Prove it.
Touche.
But again, once the top dog's gone, they got to be another top dog.
So the top dog's name was Hazel, and now they have a Pee-wee.
Now they have a Pee-wee.
I'm not afraid of this prison at all. I could walk in there and take over.
Okay.
And I'm known as the chicken lady.
All right. Let's go.
Governor and chicken lady.
Governor and chicken lady.
Let's go get arrested.
Now, he escapes from prison again in 1955 by hiding in the back of a garbage truck, and he fled to Florida, where he took employment with a traveling carnival.
His life is exhausting already.
I know. I'm exhausted.
Got to the murdering
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I feel like he has got to the murdering part. I mean, he
I have
just
a
killed.
feeling it's going to get worse. He wrote an autobiography.
100% it's going to get worse.
He's not on death row yet.
Okay, I'm
What
just
did he
saying
do?
he killed Hazel on the pod.
No, he only got 3 years of involuntary manslaughter. Now, he was arrested and paroled in August of 1961. Following his release from prison, Gaskins went back to committing robberies and selling stolen property. And then he does this all throughout his life. If he's out of prison, he's thieving, he's stealing, he's selling stolen property. 2 years after his parole, he was arrested for the rape of a 12-year-old girl, but fled while waiting sentence. Gaskins was rearrested in Georgia and sentenced to 8 years of imprisonment. He was paroled again in November of 1968. Upon his release, Gaskin moved to the town of Sumter, South Carolina, and he begins work with a roofing company. Throughout his adolescent life, he married multiple women. So at the beginning, you heard me say that he married this woman. She wanted him to turn himself in. So marriage didn't mean shit to him. He would, when he got bored with her, he just upped and left her. He was married multiple times to multiple women's and never really divorced any.
Women is plural on its own. You don't have to add an S to it.
Women's.
It's just women.
It's women's.
It's
women's when you're drinking the wine.
It's women.
Women. Women. Now, he would get to feeling anxious. He'd get like this feeling almost like an anxiety attack, and probably he could have done really well with a health professional back then. But he said that he would just leave and drive from Florida to South Carolina and back, driving along the coast. He said that there was always something stirring inside of him all his life. He never could get away from it. He wrote a lot about the bothersomeness inside of him and how he could not seem to get away from it. He recalled it felt like a ball of hot metal rolling around in his gut, and it kept him very unsettled. So he starts picking up hitchhikers during these drives. He would always try to get them to pay for his services by picking him up. You know, it's gas or ass. I mean, that's the way it is. Sometimes they would offer up freely, and other times they wouldn't even take money for it. So he would stop the car and let them out. Until he didn't. By September of 1969, he picked up a blonde hitchhiker while driving along the coast of Myrtle Beach. He said she was about 18, and she was so thankful that he had picked her up. They had some small chat, and he suggests, well, you know, he was like, I know where you're going. I can take you down there, but let's have dinner. Let's get a hotel room and share it. And she nervously chuckles and says, no thanks, I'm good. He says, oh, that's okay, but I don't do anything for nothing. He pulls off on a dirt road that led off of the highway. A few miles on this road, he stopped just past an old logging yard and looked over at her and realized he doesn't need her permission. He could do anything to this girl. She turns to reach for her duffel bag in the back seat, and he punches her in the side of the head. He proceeded to hit her until she fell into the floorboard of the car. He used her belt to tie her hands behind her back. He jerks her out of the car, drags her out a little way, and assaults her. He goes one step further and slices off her nipple and makes her swallow
that
it.
escalated quickly.
Why would you even tell us that part? If you took some of it out, could you have not taken that part out too?
And that's not even the worst part of it.
It's going to be the worst part for us.
Once he's done with her, he ties her up. He lays her on a tree limb, uses a logging chain that was laying in a logging yard to weight her down, pushes her out into the swamp, and watches her sink. He watches as the bubbles sink to the bottom, and those bubbles become less and less. He then weighs all of her belongings down and throws them in with her body. He even said on his way home that he realized what he had done. It kind of settled the bothersomeness inside of him, so he had that sort of relief after he had murdered her. Around 6 weeks later, he began getting that feeling again. He said about every 6 weeks, like clockwork, he'd get the feeling and have to go pick up a hitchhiker. And once he was done, he would sink them to the bottom of the marshy swamp. It was the only relief that he could find. These were called his coastal kills. From September to Christmas, Gaskins had already carried out 3 of these murders. By October of 1970, he'd murdered 10 girls, including the 3 in 1969.
Were they all hitchhikers?
All hitchhikers. He'd never killed in his hometown of Sumter until November of 1970. Gaskins would stop at the drive-in, and his niece and some of her girlfriends would always beg Uncle Pee-wee to buy him beer. One evening, his niece Janice, who was 15, and one of her friends, Patricia Ann, who was 17, had waved him down from another car on the street. They told Pee-wee Janice had drank too much, and who was driving the car, she had to be home by 10, and asked if he could take Janice and let her sober up and then drop her off at home. He said he could, and Patricia Ann hopped in the car with Janice. He drove to a diner and he grabbed him some coffee, but the very first sip that Janice took, she threw up in his car. He looked over and looked at him, and an idea came to mind. He drove those girls to his place, and he told Patricia Ann to help him get her naked and help her shower off the vomit. He starts undressing her, and Patricia Ann says, No, I can do that for you. I'll undress Janice. I'll shower her off.
Is Janice the niece or Patricia Ann?
Janice is the niece. She's
Okay.
the one that's
Patricia's the
intoxicated.
She's the one that's his niece is intoxicated.
Intoxicated.
Okay.
Yes. And he's trying to undress her and get her in the shower
That's
to shower off the
disgusting in
vomit.
itself.
And Patricia Ann says, No, I'll handle it. I'll undress her. I'll get her showered and cleaned up. No problem. And he looks at Patricia Ann. He says that I am her uncle and I have been bathing her all her life. This satisfied Patricia Ann, so after Janice gets rinsed off, he led them to his bedroom for some dry clothes. Now, I won't go into many details as this gets extremely rough, but you can read about it and all the depraved shit that this scumbag done.
Nobody's going to read
Final
about that.
Truth.
Nobody.
She did.
I did.
That one did right there.
I don't understand that.
I can tell you.
No. No.
Basically, he tried to assault them, and these girls fought back hard. Unfortunately, neither girl would be left alive by the time Gaskins was done.
He killed his niece?
He killed his niece, sexually assaulted, and murdered his niece and her friend. He buried Janice out by the barn on the property. Buried.
I haven't got to address that yet. Buried.
Thanks,
her.
Governor.
Tell her.
Thanks, Governor.
It's buried.
God. Now, Patricia Ann's body would not be recovered until 1976, almost 6 years after he was arrested and told them where she was during a plea deal. Gaskins had hauled her to a vacant home and dumped her body into the sewage tank. In 1971, Gaskins claims he had carried out 11 coastal kills. Now, one of his next victims I'm going to talk about is Doreen Dempsey. Gaskins had known Doreen for a while, and when her man, Johnny Sellers, showed up at Gaskins' doorstep, he said that he needed a place for Doreen and his 2-year-old girl to stay. So Gaskin told him, I don't have enough room for y'all, but I could drive you to the bus station. You can go on home to your mama's house. And so Doreen is really thankful because John's already left. He dropped her off. He left to go do whatever John's going to do. So she's like, I appreciate it. Thank you for the bus ride to the bus station, or to the ride to the bus station. Her and her daughter, Robin, we don't know what we would do without you. Now, we know he doesn't do anything for free. Gaskins asked Doreen for a sexual favor. He had her strip and proceeded to assault her. When he began to undress Robin, Doreen interrupted to ask what the hell he was doing, and he hit her across the head with a hammer. Again, I will not go into details about these two murders, but this guy is the biggest...
It's murder, not murals.
Murders.
You said murals. I'm not going to go into detail about these two murals.
Murders.
Okay, thank you.
It's the one. Murders. Murder. It's murder. But he is the biggest piece of shit to ever come out of the South. Now, this contradicts what he went on record and spoke. He was saying whatever he could to be sure he wasn't getting the death penalty. Because initially, he told the authorities that the reason that he killed Doreen and her 2-year-old daughter, Robin, was because they were half black. And therefore, he did not, he didn't get the death chair for that because they were black, half black. That's what he said, but that wasn't why he killed them. But back then, that's why they let him off so easy.
What year was that?
The 70s?
Yep.
I don't even know what to say. This is a horrible story. It's not even a fun one. I hate you.
I love you too. So, March of 1974, Gaskins changed it up during a coastal kill. Since it was cold, there weren't many hitchhikers. He drove up what he initially thought were 2 young girls. Once they were in the car, he quickly realized that both were young boys.
What the fuck?
Around 14-year-old with long hair. He drives down the highway with them and turns down a gravel road. They ask why, and Gaskin tells them that he has the shits. He's got the shits. He's got to pull over. He's got to use the bathroom. As soon as he stops the car and he's out of sight from the highway, he pulls out a Beretta pistol. He cuffs them and made them both get into the trunk and drives them to a more secluded, familiar area. After he assaulted them in every imaginable way, he remembered hearing about mountain oysters out west and how delicious they were. Again, I won't go into detail.
Quite the twist. I was not expecting.
I won't go into these gruesome details, but yes, Gaskins tried mountain oysters that night. After he was through,
Well, I had to elaborate. Not everybody knows what that is.
mountain oysters.
I don't.
Go ahead.
doesn't.
What are they?
I ain't telling you. Like, I don't know. I can't even react to this story.
Mountain oysters
Are sheep balls.
Testicles.
or cow or they're
No, it's sheep.
It's just testicles.
It's
testes.
it's animal testicles.
Animal testicles. Correct. So, now he, of course, after he was through, he done what he always did. He tied
Did he
him.
eat them raw? Did he elaborate?
No,
How did
no,
cook
he
them?
did. He did cook
cooked
them.
them.
He did. He cooked them. He fried
So
them.
he's a cannibal too.
Yes, he is also a cannibal after eating a nipple and
Oh,
testicles.
He ate the nipple. I missed that part.
Well, no, he cut the nipple off and shoved it down her throat and made her eat the nipple.
Jesus, I did miss that part.
You did miss that part. You were probably trying to mentally block out the story. But yes, he's a cannibal. So he fries them and he eats them. So he got to try his mountain oysters that night. But he does what he always does when he's done with them. He ties them down, weights them down, and he sinks them in a swampy marsh along with all of their belongings because he never kept anything other than cash. He said that nothing could be traced back to him that way. That's probably why he was able to get away with this for so long. If you can believe it, 1975 was when he done most of his kills. He was driving south of Georgetown and happened upon a broken down van. He asked the young man and 2 girls if he could help, and he looked at their van. Keep in mind, he's real technical. He's really good at working on stuff. He says, yeah, he's like, you need a pump. And he's like, hop in the car. I'll take you downtown. We'll get a new pump. We'll come back and we'll fix it. So they're like, okay, sure. Gaskin pulls off a side road. He drives into seclusion, and he pulls out that Beretta, and he handcuffs them, all three. He tortured and assaulted all three before, again, tying them all up, weighting them down, and sinking them into the marsh.
It's amazing to me that he keeps doing this, and there's these people in this area missing. Are they looking for somebody? Like, are these
haven't they noticed that 15 people have been murdered?
Right.
On the coast
So
that
a
are
lot of
hitchhiking?
these are transients, so they're hitchhikers that are hitchhiking between. Nobody knows they're missing. It's almost like when you hear serial killers, they target prostitutes because they consider them of a lesser human race.
Right, I get what you're saying. Like,
So
it's because and
no
there's
one's
no
missing them
contact.
because
It's not
they're hitchhiking. They're traveling. They're
right.
gypsies.
It's not a big deal because they don't check in every night or every 2 nights anyway.
Nobody knows they're gone.
So they're gone. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Furious, but I understand what you're saying.
Yep. So after he sinks them into the marsh, he realizes he screwed up. What about the van? Somebody's going to come across the van and think, whose van is this? They're going to run the plates. They're going to, find out who's missing. So he grabs the keys out of it and he drives back to his home, which he's now located in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, he takes the van and he redoes it. You know how they strip cars, repaint them, and sell them? And that's what he does. He strips it down, repaints it, sells it out of state. Van gone. All that evidence gone. New plates on it. Nobody knows. Now let's get to the real good part, shall we?
No.
The downfall of this piece of shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, Walter Neely had met Gaskins in lockup when they'd done time together. He had considered him to be a very loyal and a very good friend. When Gaskins got back from his coastal killing of the 3 young kids, Walter was at his home. Now, Gaskins explained to him that he had to run back out and he had to get a drop-off because he was always stripping down these old cars and reselling these vehicles. Walter never questioned it. They get the van back, they redo it, send it out of state. A few months later, Gaskins is approached by an acquaintance of his. He had been locked up with John Powell back in the day. Powell told Gaskins that he knew of his reputation of killing people and had a friend, his friend's name was John Owens, who was looking for someone to carry out a hit. The hit was on Silas Barnwell Yates. The friend was a lady named Suzanne Kipper. She apparently was Yates' mistress and was scorned when Yates took back his mobile home, and he had also brought her other expensive items like a sports car. So she was pissed because he had brought her this mobile home, he kept her in money, bought her a sports car, and now she's out on her ass. So she's pissed. So she's trying to get a hit out on this Yates guy. Nothing more deadly than a lover scorned. Gaskins works out a plan. He picks a place to bury Yates. Bury Yates, calls Powell and Owens up, and instructs them to meet them at the gravesite to bring flashlights, picks, shovels, and bring Susan along. The next day, Gaskin drove out to Diane Neely's home, who had been married to Walter, but they had filed for divorce. So he decides he's going to pay Diane to lure Yates out by stating that she had broken down and that she needed assistance. So Diane shows up in the cold night, jeans on and a thin, sheer shirt with her headlights a-shining, if you know what I mean, and asked Yates if he could help her. Absolutely, he says. He walks out of the trailer, and that's when Gaskins holds his Beretta to his head. Diane cuffed Yates, taped his mouth shut, and they shoved him into Gaskins' trunk. Diane heads back home. Her job was done. She'd done her part. She lured him out. Gaskins meets Owens and Powell, gets his payment, and tells them to drag Yates out to the gravesite. Yates at this point is making a ruckus. Like he's duct taped, but he's screaming and he's fighting. He's trying to get away and trying to tell him, I'll pay you whatever. But Gaskins hits him with the hilt of his gun. This did not shut him up, so he rams his knife through his chest, then holds his head back and slits his throat.
This guy is
Evil.
This is an evil person.
Man.
But
Evil.
before this happened, I mean, he's evil, but he's an evil.
He's evil.
I just don't understand how. I just feel like I say this all the time, and probably I do, but I just don't understand how somebody can get away with this much stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, his niece?
His niece, yeah. His niece. Now dead, Gaskins has Owens and Powell dig the grave, shove Yates in, and covers him back up. He drives back to Diane's, and he gives her $300 cash for luring Yates out of his trailer. But this is where the paranoia starts for Gaskins. He'd always done his killings alone. He never had a witness. He never had help. What happens if Powell and Powell and Owens starts to talk? Well, he knows Owens and Powell were good because they helped. They helped bury the body. But what was keeping Kipper from singing? The girl who ordered the hit.
Nothing.
What was to keep her from singing and saying, "Hey, I know who did it." So he pays Suzanne a visit, and she agrees to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Now, let's pop back to Diane, okay? So Diane was the bait that they led Yates out of the trailer with. Mm-hmm. So Diane has a new man, and one night when they're all drinking and partying, she tells her new man, Avery, about how Gaskins had paid her $300 to just bait Yates out of this mobile home. Avery gets thinking. He said, "You know what? You got off cheap. I bet he'd pay a hell of a lot more to keep you quiet." Hello, greed. So she calls up Gaskins, and she says, I want more hush money. He said, okay, that's fair. So he requested Avery and Diane meet him off an old side road. They never questioned it and never seen what was coming. Gaskins pulled out his gun, and he shot them both.
I mean,
I did not see that coming.
How could you not know? How could you not know that wasn't what was going to happen? I mean, this guy just killed somebody in cold-blooded murder, and you're going to try to extort him money?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's going to work.
That's going to go good for you.
That's going to work.
Works every time.
Yeah.
You know what happens when you play stupid games?
You win stupid prizes. Now, Diane's brother, Dennis Bellamy, worked for Gaskins in the chop shop. One day, Gaskins came back to his shop, and he finds out he's been robbed. They had cleaned him out. But he knows exactly who it was, who was working with him. His partner, Dennis, and Dennis's partner, Johnny Knight. So Gaskins instructs Walter to let Dennis and Knight know that he's not mad. He just wants to get his stuff returned. So they all meet up at the house, and he's smoothing things over, and they're sitting there, they're drinking, they're eating, at the house and laughing and having a good time. And then he tells them that, I really want to continue our partnership. I want to continue working with you guys. So, and I've got some extra cash for you, but I want you to come with me because I got to show you something where I'm going to build this new chop shop. Okay? So he takes Dennis out and murders him.
Of course he does.
And then he goes back for Knight.
I love how all of his friends think, I'm good.
I'm good. Yeah. This guy has no friends. No one is safe around Wee Gaskins. So Knight is absolutely oblivious to what just happened to Dennis, as Walter had just made Knight a sandwich. They were all sitting there. They were talking, having a good time. He just handed him a stack of cash. They're getting ready to start a new chop shop down the road. So he asks him to come out with him. He said he's got so many ideas in his head that he's spouting. He's like, you got to come see this place. You got to come look at what we're wanting to do. So he's like, okay. He gets in the car. Gaskins drives him to where he shot Dennis, and he shoots Knight in the back of the head while Walter watches. Now, Gaskins trusted Walter, and this would be his downfall. Walter told him he would keep quiet about it. Walter even took a pair of shoes off one of the guys and kept them because they were a nice pair of shoes. And Gaskin said that was always against his MO because he never kept anything but cash. But there was something that Gaskins did not account for here. Do you have any idea what that could be? It would be Walter's conscience. One of the last kills would be Kim Gelkins, who was 13, who had repeatedly declined Gaskin's sexual advances. He, of course, is not one to take rejection well. He murdered Gelkins and left some of her clothes in his home. So they were able to put out a warrant contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Now, by November of 1975, Gaskin gets pulled over and he gets arrested.
You told me at the beginning of this, like you told me 10 minutes ago that this was his downfall.
It is his downfall.
I have yet to see
it's
downfall.
A very slow downfall. Just hold your horses.
I feel like you gave me a premature downfall.
I could have gave you a little false hope.
I feel like
you were
it's
stressing.
I feel like it's a premature downfall.
So he gets arrested, and Walter had already been questioned several times, and he had held up strong. He was like, I don't know, I wasn't there, until he hears that they picked up Gaskins. Then he turns panicky. He starts having bad dreams and flashbacks about the murders he witnessed, and he had gotten so scared that when he was left alone in the dark, he claimed that he could see the ghosts.
I bet he could. I bet he could see him, and good. I hope they followed him until the day he died.
Walter decided the only thing he could do at this point was to go and confess to a preacher. I mean, who else better to help with the spirits other than a preacher? And confessed he did. He prayed and he asked for guidance about the situation, and the preacher was able to convince Walter to go to the authorities. And Walter sang like a canary. He told them everything. And he told them about how Pee-wee had a whole graveyard of people. Walter led the police to the bodies that had been buried. December 10th, 1975, Walter led them to the bodies of Doreen and Robin. Gaskin stated in his book, Final Truth, December of 1975, the coroner had bodies, Walter had Jesus, and the law had me. By May 28th of 1976, the court found Pee-wee Gaskins guilty of 8 counts first-degree murder and sentenced him to die in the electric chair. He would kill one more time in prison in 1982. He would kill Rudolph Tyner. Tyner had killed Bill and Myrtle Moon at their little general store during a robbery. And their son, Tony Simo, put out a hit on Tyner. And with Gaskin's reputation, he succeeded. He got to know this guy in the cell, and he started off by getting poison in and trying to poison him, and it just kept making this guy sick. So he finally tells his, his outside contacts, he was like, I need some dynamite. So he gets dynamite, and he tells this guy,
I mean, what?
The poison doesn't work. So he tries to poison Tyner.
It's all or nothing.
Looney Tunes cartoon.
He tries to poison Tyner multiple times with different things. It doesn't work. So he's tired of fooling around. So he gets dynamite.
I just feel like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Pulled into the prison, okay? Because he's in prison. He's in prison.
Definitely contraband.
Contraband.
100%.
Gets dynamite in the prison.
How do you get it in there?
Do you know how he kills him?
How did he get the dynamite in the prison? Say it.
Candy bars.
No, that's what it was?
It wasn't a prison purse.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
It was candy bars. It was through candy bars. But he starts off by bringing this guy weed, and he builds this trust and rapport like he did with Hazel.
Weed in jail?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what happens when you're the top dog, I guess. You get the weed. But he gets building a relationship with this guy, and then one night he's like trying to fix this leaky pipe in his cell, Tyner's cell, because he's a Mr. Fix-It guy. He's a maintenance guy here at this prison. He gets to fix the pipe, and then he tells him, he's like, listen, he's like, he drills a hole, through his cell to the other end and tells him, just like when you was a kid and you used to put a string on a cup and listen to each other, he tells this guy this is exactly what he's going to do. So he puts this dynamite in this cell.
He picks it up and puts it to his
I
ear.
swear to God, that's exactly how he dies. He said he hears him lift up and he's like, hello, and kaboom. I shit you not, that's what happens.
If you're on death row, are you not in isolation by yourself? They let him just work on stuff. He's on death row and he's working. What prison is this?
Because of their behavior. If they're good, they get special treatment in the prison. But anyways, he did succeed.
Baby?
He did succeed in killing Tyner.
Hello, boom.
That's exactly what
The
happened.
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I swear, inside a prison.
That's what took you out.
And here's another thing too. Could you imagine holding a stick of dynamite and being like, hello? Like, he didn't know it wasn't dynamite?
No.
I've never seen dynamite, and I feel like if I had to choose, if somebody's like, pick this up and answer or call somebody, I'd be like, that kind of reminds me of dynamite.
This might be a trick.
Is this a trick?
Is this a trick? But that's exactly what happened, is he blew him to pieces. Yes, Gaskins was put to death on Friday, September 6, 1991 at 1:04 a.m.
Oh, good.
And that is the messed up story of Donald Pee Wee Gaskins Jr.
That was horrible.
I told you that was a rough
question
one.
about this,
Yep.
though.
Let me
Did his friends, Marsh and the other guy, what was the other guy's name?
Marsh and oh shoot,
Anyways,
David or something.
did they really beat them to death?
No, they did not beat. So Marsh got strung up. So Marsh got strung up in the barn with Pee Wee and they were strung him up naked and like beat him.
Okay, and then after that, they
Bloody.
couldn't be friends anymore. But they didn't actually kill him because you said they got beat to death.
Like
but
beat
you
to
just
death.
Meant,
I
you
just
were
meant
being,
hypothetically. Yeah.
Okay.
But so what was the other guy's name?
You know what? He doesn't even deserve to be remembered.
But anyways,
Don't
the
even worry about
one,
it.
so Marsh and Pee Wee gets caught. The other boy goes home to his daddy, who was the one that hooked them up with the stolen goods.
Yeah.
So when they go to pick up, I think his name's Danny. When they go to pick up Danny, his daddy's sitting there on the porch, and he was like, "The hell you will!" And after, like, they won't do anything, so they leave. And after they leave, Danny and his dad, they leave and they go to, I think it was Texas. And he said that he had never really heard from him again. So they left after that incident. After that. So
I gotcha.
yeah. So anywho, that was that. I'm glad you liked that story.
I hated that story. There was nothing good. There wasn't even any moments that I could laugh. You know how, like, when you did Heaven's Gate?
Yeah, we just kind of chuckled.
And those guys were cutting off
This was rough. It was a hard one.
Well,
and
they
I
were
left.
cutting off their nuts, and I was laughing about
Yeah.
it. Like, I laughed for 15 minutes
We
after
did.
that one. Like, I couldn't compose myself.
Right.
Nothing good about this
No,
story. I
nothing
mean, there's
good.
nothing good about Heaven's Gate either, but I could find a humor.
You could find a humor. This
Could
was
not find
straight up
humor in this.
awful. It
It's a
was
terrible
awful. I
story.
told you it was bad. That's why I said trigger warning. So if
You said trigger warning in Heaven's Gate.
yeah, because I gotta say trigger warning when there's like suicide and stuff.
Was there suicide in this?
No, but there's grape,
Yeah.
sexual assault.
Yeah.
That's trigger warning.
Little murder.
Just a tiny bit of murder.
Just a dash of
Dash of
murder.
murder.
A smidge of
Smidge of murder.
assault.
Smidge cannibal.
A smidge of cannibal.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
a
that's
smidge,
right.
a smidge of assault.
A couple mountain oysters were
a sprinkle,
consumed.
A sprinkle of murder.
There we go. It's sprinkled murder. Well, if you guys don't mind, go like and rate us on Spotify. Go like and follow the Facebook page, the Instagram, and the TikTok at Watch for Deer Podcast. Be sure to shoot us any stories that you may have, any questions at watchfordeerpodcast@gmail.com. Y'all be safe.
And watch for deer.